What is up, Sneeples? This is the Day 3 spoiler recap video for Part The Mistveils. All of the Day 3 spoilers right here in one video. Let's get right into it. We have some good ones today. Starting off with a few that came out yesterday, but a little late, was Emissary of Moon. This is given to us by Carlo. Emissary of Moon is a generic attack action. It is a rare, so you'd imagine this would be in all three pitches. The red one costs 0, comes in for 4, blocks for 2, and says when this attacks, you may put a card from your hand on the bottom of your deck. If you do, draw a card. So this one is, I think, really good. Allows you to have a little bit of a filtering ability. It's a 0 for 4 with just that little cost. The yellow will be a 0 for 3, blue will be a 0 for 2. But basically, you know, if you didn't want that chi right now, you can put it in later, or maybe you're looking for that chi, you can help dig a little bit. And always, it's a 0 for 4. So if you had to block with 3 cards, you still have a good attack coming in. So Emissary Moon, a pretty good card, especially in limited. I don't know if we'll see it outside of that. Next up from Dozer, we have Restless Coalescence. This is a majestic illusionist instant. That's an aura. It is a yellow pitch and it costs 0. And it says when this enters the arena, move any number of +1 counters from auras you control onto this. And then once per turn instant, remove a +1 counter from this, create a Spectre shield token, and it has ward 2. So this could be something that if you need to play it as quick as possible to save, or not necessarily even save your Phantom Tidemaw, but basically, you know, take all the counters from your Phantom Tidemaw, put it onto this Restless Coalescence, and now you basically have that same powerful Phantom Tidemaw, just with a different name. And oh, by the way, if it's going to be destroyed as well, you can at least get a Spectral Shield out of it, maybe even a few. So very cool. It kind of protects itself, which I think is really cool. And then just ward 2 is always pretty nice. It's a 0-cost aura that you can, you know, instant speed in. I'm kind of curious if we might see Prism even play this card. It is a yellow pitch after all, so would be curious. Probably not though. All right, those were the 2 spoilers that happened late on Sunday. Now let's get into the Monday spoilers. The first one from 1-2 Juice is Rage Spectre. This is a majestic illusionist action. That's an aura. It is a blue pitch. It costs 2 and it blocks for 3. It says when this enters the arena, if you control no other illusionist auras, gain 1 action point. And then during your turn, this has ward 6. Otherwise, this has ward 1. So this is an illusionist action that could get you your action point back after playing it, if it is your only aura, which who knows, maybe it will be. Great turn 1, turn 0 sort of card. And then what's really to note here is the ward 6 being able to prevent any sort of instant speed destruction of your ward on your turn. Ward 6 can just absorb it all most likely and save all your other ward auras out there. So pretty cool card there. Next up from ICV2, we have another legendary, and this is our generic legendary, a generic equipment for the arms called Stonewall Gauntlet. This blocks for 1. It has blade break, so it'll only get 1 block out of it. And it says when this defends an attack with a power greater than its base, opposing attacks get -1 power this combat chain. So it does say combat chain that can be broken. So if you're going against a KO or Leviah that played Art of War, Blood Rush Bellow, they can just be like, okay, I'll break the combat chain and then we'll start going again. So this is more effective against like maybe some dash, maybe, but definitely some Katsu, some Zen probably, definitely anti-ninja sort of card. As well as there's some other heroes and decks out there that this is going to affect. Basically decks that don't want to break the combat chain, this will have an effect on. So kind of just a very good Iron Rock Gauntlet that could have some, you know, positive effects for you against your opponents. All right, next up we have from Rhea on hit effect. We have the 10,000 year reunion, 10,000 years in the making. This is an illusionist action. That's an aura. blocks for 3. It is a red pitch. It is a majestic, so we only see it in red pitch, and it costs 8. Definitely the most costly illusionist spell we've seen yet. And it says you may remove 3 +1 counters from among auras you control rather than pay the card's resource cost. So instead of having to pay 8, you can just remove 3 +1 counters from auras you control, and it has ward 10. So yeah, ward 10 for 8 is pretty damn gnarly. Basically just a huge wall that your opponent is gonna have to try to get through before they can even think about dealing any sort of damage to you. So very good versus tall decks. Yeah, very cool card. Next up from Mara Ferris, we have Manifestation of Miry. That makes total sense that Mara is spoiling this one. This is a majestic. This is a mystic illusionist instant. That's an aura. So only Enigma can play this card. It is a blue pitch and it costs 3. This enters the arena with 2 +1 counters on it. If a chi was pitched to play this, instead it enters with 4 +1 counters on it. So kind of makes sense. 2 was its attack, 4 was its defense. So it makes sense that it has those 2 different options. And it has ward X, where X is the number of +1 counters on it. So it can ward 2 or it can ward 4. But either way, I kind of like this card. It's pretty cool. It's a little costly, but when most of your deck's blue, is it really all that costly? Not really. So Manifestation of Miry, dragons are still around. Okay, next up from February, we have Unravel Aggression. This is a majestic mystic defense reaction. So all 3 heroes can play this one. This has a block value of 5, it costs 3, and a pitch value of 3. It is a blue pitch. It says if a chi was pitched to play this, draw a card. So it can even replace itself a little bit here. Being able to block for 5 and draw a card after the fact is obviously very good. But just being able to do a 3 for 5, it's a little bit like Unmovable in that way. Unmovable could be a 3 for 6 from the arsenal, but otherwise it's 3 for 5. This is kind of that same deal. We'll have to see if this gets played. I'm kind of curious if you really want to play this card. I think it's probably pretty good, especially in the second cycle. It's going to be amazing. So the fact that it's a blue pitch, I think it makes it very good. All right, next up from Pitch Perfect, we have Prismatic Layline. This is a generic action. It is majestic, so you only see it in the yellow pitch. It costs 0 and it blocks for 3. It says your next red attack this turn gets +1, your next yellow gets +2, and your next blue gets +3, and it has go again. A very interesting card. I actually wonder, what type of decks are going to actually pick this up, if any at all. But this could be something that I could see Runeblades really like, as it is a non-attack action that goes into an attack action with its effects. So it could make that blue card just that much better, and maybe that's worth running because of it. Yeah, it's very interesting, and it blocks for 3, so you really can't be all too mad at it. I actually like this card. I'm curious to how many decks will actually play it. Next up from Sloop Dupe, we have Meridian Pathway. This is our legendary for our Mystic Illusionist, and it is in the legs. It has no block value on its own, and it has the text instant, pitch 3, or basically pitch a chi, right? 3 mystic resources. You may play auras this turn as though they were instants. So even those instant auras, or even those action auras, can be instantly played as long as you pitch a chi in the beginning to activate the Meridian Pathway. It does not destroy it, and it does not say, so it's not just a once per game effect. You can do this on your opponent's turn. You can do it on your turn. You can do it to, if something has go again, to gain an action point. And it also reads, whenever you pitch a chi, you may have this get ward 3 until the end of turn. And that's an optional deal. So if you just need a little bit of extra health against, something that's coming at you, this is a great way to get at the very end of the game. So Meridian Pathway, very cool card, and it fits very well for Enigma. All right, next up from Fina, we have 3 Visits. 3 Visits is a majestic. It is a mystic illusionist aura. It is a red pitch, and it costs 3, and it reads Ward X, where X is 3 times the number of blue cards you've pitched this turn. So it is an aura that can have you know, as much ward as you're pitching, and I believe that is just every turn it just checks how much you've pitched. So you can even in response pitch blues for if you could for any other reason, and that will increase the ward of this card. So 3 visits, a very interesting card. Could see some sneaky play be used with this card, maybe even like some, you know, sneaky pump effect. All right, moving on from the Wraith times, we have the second Tenant of Chimoon. This is a rare. This might be a rare that we only see in blue, but we might see in the other 2 pitch values as well. But the blue pitch costs 3, blocks for 3, and comes in for 5 attack. And it says if you transcend it this turn, this gets, when this channeling resolves, draw a card. So basically, as long as you've transcended this turn, you just get to draw a card. Now, this does not have Go Again on its own, so unless you give it Go Again, you won't be able to do anything with that card unless it was an instant, which could happen. It is a mystic action. That means every of the new heroes can play it. So who knows? Maybe. At the very least, it could be an arsenal card for you. So second Tenant of Chimoon, a very interesting card. I think it will be pretty fun and pretty cool. And if it is in yellow and red pitch values, then you know you will see yellow as a 6 attack and red as a 7. Okay. That is it. We still do not have the Armada's spoiler. We might just make a short of it, but that is the only spoiler that is, you know, scheduled to be announced that we do not know quite yet. Regardless, those are all the spoilers of day 3 minus that one. So now that we know most of the cards, now it's the time to get out there, go on Fabre, go on FabDB, wherever you go, to start creating some decks, making some decks, getting some thoughts brewing, so that we can see what this new meta has in store. I want to give a huge shout out to all of our Patreons out there, and here is all of you guys. Thank you so much. I very much appreciate all the support. It helps me, Gabe, a huge amount. Thanks guys for watching. Keep on fabbing. Catch you on the next one.